Hello, hello, and for heaven's sake, oh goodness gracious, right now, right in your ear. Do you hear? Right in your eye. Do I? I do. This is the word I share with you. And this is a course. A course in what? A course in miracles. Miracles are what? They are the change in the use of perception for the purpose of seeing beyond it and through it and underneath it, that there is a light that is one that we share, that is to see beyond our separate interests, a loving light of insight that is inside the kingdom within, the great and holy instant of immersion into the reality, the realm of reality, instead of the practice world, the world of practice wherein we practice, practically speaking, with our character. We know, we believe we are and in conglomeration. What am I saying? I'm not sure. I haven't read this lesson yet today. I decided that I would read it real quick on my own. So, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Like, what is the meaning of innocent babies born ready to be traumatized? What is the meaning of communication that doesn't create connection, that doesn't communicate? This is the first idea we have had. What is that meaning? It's like, it's meaningless meaning in some big way. It's chaos in some way. We could say meaningfully that meaning is meaningless, actually. This is the first idea we have had that is related to a major phase of the correction process, the reversal of the thinking of the world. This is the first idea that's related to a major phase of the correction process, the reversal of the thinking of the world. What is the thinking of the world? Let's see. Maybe it will tell us. Listen in, let's hear. Okay, it seems as if the world determines what you perceive. This is the thinking of the world, I guess. Today's idea introduces the concept that your thoughts determine the world you see. Be glad, indeed, to practice the idea in its initial form, for in this idea is your release made sure. Be glad, indeed, to practice the idea in its initial form, for in this idea is your release made sure. It's a meaningless connection to meaninglessness. And meaningfulness, meaningfully, may be that there is a way to see. It's like my friend Corrine says. She has this metaphor of, like, she had this dream. She's walking down a hallway to a bright light that she knows is where she actually belongs is. And there's a door that suddenly opens to the side of her. And these people are like, oh my God, have you seen what's going on here? She's like, what? She's like, what? What's happening? They're like, it's a war. And they're like, and she's like, oh no. They're like, come in here. Like, there's tragedies happening here. She goes in and the people are like, she realizes that they're watching a movie actually about war. But the movie's like 3D and it's really like seems real. She sits down and she's like, oh no, I can't believe this is happening. This movie is like, they call it the news, maybe. They're like, this isn't just a movie, this is the news, this is reality. And she's like, but she remembers in her mind there was a place, like a light that she was headed to down a hallway. And she says, like, hey, there's a light out there, to her friends in the movie. And they're like, what, you don't care about the news? You don't care about what the news is showing? She's like, it's a movie. They're like, this is the news. It's different, actually. And then she's like, but there was like, my heart was like going to something. And they're like, you don't care. And she chose to go out in the hall while everybody was seemingly saying, you're just abandoning us. She's like, no, where we really belong is where I'm going, actually. Be glad indeed to practice the idea in its initial form. That this idea is your release made sure. The key to forgiveness lies in this. Forgiveness of the fact that the scenes of the movie or the news seem to say, oh my gosh, horrible tragedy. The possibility of being a symbol within seeming scenes of tragedy, of being happy anyway, that seems like a difficult, and I could see why people could judge it actually, but a good goal to have. My heart, my mind says that could be a good thing actually. Paragraph number 2. The practice periods for today's idea are to be undertaken somewhat differently from the previous ones. Begin with your eyes closed and repeat the idea slowly. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Repeat the idea slowly to yourself. Then, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Then open your eyes and look about, near and far, up and down, anywhere. During the minute or so to be spent in using the idea, merely repeat it to yourself, being sure to do so without haste and with no sense of urgency or effort. So you're going to be kind of looking here, so near, far, slowly saying, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Like where I'm sitting, there's tons of books in my sight, and each of them seems to contain so many things that I wish I would know in the story of me. An impossible thing to know all of them, actually. Look, there's a big old book right there I've been wanting to read. Right on top of it, another one that I listened to a long time ago. Another one, the biggest joke book in the world, actually. Right below it, another one I want to read, you know? Another one that in Joey's world, he says could, if he could imbibe all this, like his world would be better. In the world of a story, that's what it seems he sees. And then I tell myself, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world as I'm slowly looking around this room at all the things. Empty bottle, whatever it be, coffee cup, LOVE sign. Okay, paragraph number 3. To do these exercises for maximum benefit, the eyes should move from one thing to another, fairly rapidly, since they should not linger on anything in particular. Fairly rapidly, I guess, okay, but saying slowly the words, I think. The words, however, should be used in unhurried, even leisurely fashion. Leisurely? My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. A few minutes we do this. The introduction to this idea in particular should be practiced as casually as possible. It contains the foundation for the peace, relaxation, and freedom from worry that we are trying to achieve. On concluding the exercises, close your eyes and repeat the idea once more slowly to yourself. So for a few minutes we do this thing, rapidly looking from place to place, slowly speaking the name of the lesson, and then closing our eyes and slowly again repeating the idea to ourselves. Paragraph number 4. These practice periods today will probably be three practice periods today will probably be sufficient. However, if there is little or no uneasiness and an inclination to do more, as many as 5 may be undertaken. More than this is not recommended. It's funny the way the course is that way. Like, I could say sometimes I just want to do more, but it says it doesn't recommend to do more, making it interesting and easy. Okay, send in my love.